Shalom, everyone. I would like to introduce you to a new favorite of mine, Sefer Vayikra, the Book of Leviticus. Yes, you heard me right. Leviticus is unpopular because it is very technical, a lot of laws about karbanot. But I have recently developed a newfound appreciation for Vayikra everywhere I turn. In the Book of Vayikra, there is a ritual that underscores and supports a really important basic idea or value in Judaism. When it comes to ritual, it's important to note in Judaism, and this is the case, I would imagine, in all religions, that the rituals that are practiced are not busy work, right? It's not like I will not talk during class, I will not talk during class, that my teacher made me write on the board for no reason other than for that reason. The rituals that we have are meant to remind us of or to express or preserve basic values. And I want to give an example of that from the book of Vayikra, from this week's Parsha, the laws surrounding the Metzora. The Metzora is someone who is stricken with a skin disease, which is often translated as leprosy, but it's definitely not the leprosy that medically we are aware of. So we sometimes call it biblical leprosy. For the purposes of this Devar Torah, we'll call it Tzara'at. That's the Hebrew word. So some of the rituals of Tzara'at are very interesting. The person with Tzara'at has to rend their clothing, they have to dishevel their hair, they have to cover their face, and they have to go live outside of the camp. So what is that about? What's that for? So the Sefer Achinuch offers some beautiful ideas. First, he notes that when the person leaves the camp, Yirchak ha'adam mikol hatov. A person is distanced from all good. The camp, the community is good, and being distanced from the community, being separate from the community is bad. That is a really, really important idea. The Maharal notes that the strength of the community is in that it is resistant to decay. Individuals change and can disappear, but a klal, a community, is everlasting. Rabbi Soloveitchik speaks about this beautifully in Al HaTshuva on repentance, when he says, he admits that sometimes he loses faith in the Jewish people, both in America and in Israel. And he wonders if we have the ability to last. And then he realizes, he says, and I realize that that is a lack of a fundamentally lacking in the belief of a really key idea in Judaism, and that is Knesset Yisrael, the community of Israel. So when the person is banished, they have to leave, they are leaving from Kol Mikol Tov, they are leaving behind what is really good. And then the Sefer Achinuch instructs us as to why being banished is a fitting response to Tzaraat. He quotes the Gemara in Masechet Erechim that teaches that biblical leprosy, Tzaraat, is a punishment for Lashon Hara, for gossip. And the Gemara says that by speaking gossip, this person created distance between a husband and wife, created distance between community members. And so we tell that person, you try to undermine the community, you have to leave the community yourself. Lashon Hara is a community killer. It plants the seeds of discontent that slowly but surely destroy the fabric of the community. And so the Torah prescribes like a measure for measure response. The one who sought to undermine the community has to leave the community. And then we're also told that this person has to dishevel themselves and tear their clothes. They have to call out unclean, unclean, tameh, tameh. What is all that about? Well, the unkempt hair and the torn clothing are antisocial activities, antisocial modes of being. So we make the person look the part. They acted in a way which was antisocial and tore at the fabric of the society, and they have to look that way. They have to look the part to sort of remind themselves, maybe everyone else, what they've done. And finally, tameh, tameh. This is really incredible. They have to call out that they are tameh. They have to admit, I have done this. I am tameh with Tzaraat because I am a nuisance to the community. And the second reason they have to call out tameh, the Gemara says, is so that other people will see them and pray for their healing. Now, isn't that amazing? The very people that this person undermined are asked to pray for them, because we, those of us left behind in the community, realize that banishing this person for good is terrible. We want the person to rehabilitate themselves and come back into the community. Even though the Metzora betrayed them, the community is willing to forgive the wrongdoer so that that person does not have to be bereft of community forever. That is really something special. And all of this speaks to the importance of community. The Metzora's actions pinpoint a lack of appreciation for the privilege of a community. And that's what a community is. It's a privilege. It's not a right. And the rituals of antisocial behavior, the sequester, and the communal prayer on behalf of the ailing person all underscore the Torah's appreciation and value of the community. So back to the Maharal that I noted. Community endures, even under the most trying circumstances. Community is how our values are passed on and how they live in real time. And so isn't this a beautiful example how Sefer Vayikra, the rituals, the seemingly difficult to understand rituals in Sefer Vayikra, help us express and preserve and fortify some basic ideals. And in this case, it's the importance and the beauty and the goodness and the everlasting nature of community, and how important it is for us to stay connected to the community so that our values endure. Shabbat Shalom to our wonderful community.